Several Chinese citizens die suddenly in the Netherlands. Bad news piles up for Chinese economy, Qiang reaffirms commitment. Chinese influencer causes uproar at Paris Evergreen Laurel Hotel over refusal to display 5-star flag. Zhongnanhai on high alert, pens and lighters warned as national security threats. CCP's Green Cicada network exposed, thousands of fake accounts targeting US election. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Several Chinese citizens die suddenly in the Netherlands. On August 15, the Chinese embassy in the Netherlands issued a statement noting an alarming trend of sudden deaths among Chinese citizens in the country due to diseases such as myocardial infarction. The embassy has advised Chinese nationals to closely monitor their health. Though the statement did not specifically mention COVID-19, the World Health Organization, WHO, recently warned of a resurgence of the pandemic across at least 84 countries, with increasing COVID-19 cases in Europe, North America, and Asia. Experts are concerned that the pandemic could worsen in the second half of the year, potentially overwhelming hospitals with a surge in patients. In mainland China, the pandemic situation remains severe, with authorities beginning to release data showing a noticeable rise in cases. Official reports from Guangdong province indicate a significant increase in COVID-19 cases, with about 10,000 more cases in July than in June. Additionally, several provinces have initiated emergency drills in response to clusters of pneumonia of unknown origin, reflecting the heightened alert. These drills, which began in June in cities such as Yayang City in Hunan, Huayan City in Jiangsu, Zhenjiang City in Jiangsu, and Chiang Mai County in Hainan, have expanded to more locations across the country since July. On the same day, August 15, a representative from the Gansu Province 12320 Health Hotline informed China Business News that the national authorities had planned infectious disease drills across 10 provinces to be completed by the end of August, as confirmed by the Infectious Disease Department of the Gansu Provincial CDC. The frequency of unexplained sudden deaths has notably increased in areas like Shanghai and Guangdong, according to local residents. A delivery worker in Shanghai, Mr. Chen, said that many people, including a neighbor under 50, had died suddenly within just a week without any symptoms. He noted that the neighbor worked night shifts and passed away during the day at home. Mr. Wan, a resident of Guangzhou, reported that numerous elderly people had died unexpectedly. He knew of several cases, involving individuals in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, who died suddenly, some even collapsing and dying on the street. One incident occurred in his community, where a person in his 50s or 60s fell while walking and died immediately. Bad news piles up for Chinese economy, Qiang reaffirms commitment. Official economic data released by the Chinese Communist Party on Thursday, August 15, painted a bleak picture. Unemployment is on the rise, investment is down, and the real estate market is slumping. As previously reported, Zhu Haibin, the chief economist for China at J.P. Morgan, responded to these troubling figures by revising his forecast for China's GDP growth for the year downwards from 5.2% to 4.7%. Other major investment banks, including Goldman Sachs and Barclays, have also adjusted their growth predictions downward after observing the disappointing data. Further bad news for China's economy includes a significant reduction in foreign direct investment, with a reported $14.8 billion decline in the second quarter of the year, indicating a substantial pullback by foreign investors. Additionally, the People's Bank of China noted a sharp decrease in new yuan loans in July, which fell by 859 billion yuan, about $120 billion, from the previous year. This contraction, the first in 19 years, marks a critical point that could lead to deflation and hinder economic growth. A Bloomberg report highlighted a deepening crisis in the real estate sector, revealing that over 48 million housing units were sold before being completed. The manufacturing sector is also struggling, with about 30% of industrial enterprises reporting losses by the end of June, a level surpassing the peak losses seen during the 1998 Asian financial crisis. The so-called New Three industries, favored by Xi Jinping, are experiencing severe overcompetition and facing massive shutdowns. According to The Economist, about 52,000 companies related to electric vehicles in China shut down in 2023, an increase of nearly 90% compared to the previous year. The solar power industry is dealing with an oversupply issue, with the prices of most solar panels dropping below the cost of production, forcing many firms to scale back. The semiconductor industry is also seeing significant closures, particularly among companies focusing on lower-end chip components, driven by concentrated local government investments. Data from Cicada, a Chinese corporate information inquiry platform, shows that around 11,000 companies involved in the chip industry closed in 2023, which averages to about 30 closures per day. The data is now considered too sensitive to be published further. In that context, Chinese Premier Li Qiang underscored the importance of steadfastly reaching this year's economic and social development targets. During a comprehensive session of the State Council on August 16, reported by the Chinese Communist Party's Xinhua news agency, Li Qiang referenced Xi Jinping's ideology on comprehensively deepening reforms, stressing strict adherence to these goals. He highlighted the need to expand domestic demand with a primary focus on stimulating consumption and pushed for actively pursuing a higher level of openness to the international community. He also advocated for more vigorously attracting and utilizing foreign capital and improving the quality of services provided to foreign investors. Notably, during a routine meeting of the State Council on July 31, Li Qiang had already expressed the same resolute commitment to fulfill the year's economic and social development objectives. According to the Sound of Hope, as the top official overseeing the economy in the Chinese Communist Party, Li Qiang has repeatedly emphasized his resolve on the same issue, revealing the deep anxiety that has left him increasingly uneasy. Chinese influencer causes uproar at Paris Evergreen Laurel Hotel over refusal to display five-star flag. During the 2024 Paris Olympics, a Chinese travel influencer stirred controversy after expressing dissatisfaction when the Evergreen Laurel Hotel in Paris refused to display the Chinese Communist Party's five-star flag. The incident has sparked an online backlash, with Chinese netizens calling for a widespread boycott. The influencer raised the issue directly with the hotel, even producing a personal five-star flag and requesting it be displayed. When asked if the hotel was Chinese-owned, staff replied, "It's owned by Taiwanese." The influencer then loudly protested, questioning, "Isn't Taiwan part of China?" The next day, the influencer returned to continue the protest and met with a female manager. The influencer inquired why flags from many countries were displayed but not China's flag. The manager responded that even if a Chinese flag were purchased now, it wouldn't be displayed since they cannot put up flags they don't have. The influencer claimed that a Chinese chef at the hotel stated the five-star flag was originally hung but later removed by a Taiwanese general manager named Su. The manager confirmed they knew which employee made the statement but asserted that the hotel reserves the right to decide its decor. She apologized, emphasizing that the absence of the Chinese flag was a decision within the hotel's discretion. The influencer further cited data provided by the chef, suggesting that 60% to 70% of the hotel's guests are Chinese. The manager, however, stated the actual percentage is much lower, around 4% to 5%. The hotel confirmed that they would not display the five-star flag before removing the current decorations. Subsequently, the Evergreen Laurel Hotel issued a statement on social media, reaffirming its right to decide which national flags to display, including whether to include the Chinese flag. The hotel also expressed regret for not delivering the best guest experience. The influencer's video documenting the protest quickly went viral, triggering outrage among nationalist groups in China. On August 15, major travel platforms in China, including Trip and Meituan, removed all search listings related to the Evergreen Laurel Hotel, seemingly applying pressure. Later that same day, the Evergreen Laurel Hotel in Shanghai posted an apology on its website, acknowledging that their handling of the situation was not fully considered, resulting in negative perceptions and public concern. They expressed deep regret and promised to avoid similar issues in the future, hoping the incident would not impact cross-strait relations. However, according to Radio Free Asia, this apology was only visible on the Shanghai Hotel's website, while the Paris and other branches of the Evergreen Laurel Hotel did not issue similar statements. Earlier, Chinese travel websites that had removed the Evergreen Laurel Hotel listings have now reinstated listings for Evergreen hotels in various locations, though the Paris Evergreen Laurel Hotel remains unsearchable. Regarding this matter, Taiwan's Deputy Minister of the Mainland Affairs Council, Liang Wenjie, told Radio Free Asia, this issue isn't limited to businesses with Taiwanese ownership. Using nationalism to interfere in business and drive traffic through nationalist sentiment won't make China great, it will only increase global resentment toward China. Japanese journalist Akio Yaida expressed a similar perspective on Platform X. He commented, "This incident reminds me of a recent case where a Chinese influencer vandalized the Yasukuni Shrine in Tokyo, Japan. It's a method influencers use to exploit nationalism for profit by attracting more traffic." Akio Yaida further noted, these exaggerated patriotic displays might temporarily satisfy the vanity of nationalist groups, but they seriously harm the image of Chinese people. On the international stage, it will only fuel more resentment toward China and its citizens. He also added, on platforms like the Olympics, the global community has become increasingly aware of China's consistent bullying of Taiwan. I fully understand the stance taken by the Paris Evergreen Laurel Hotel. For my future business trips, I'll make it a point to choose Evergreen Laurel hotels. Zhongnanhai on high alert, pens and lighters warned as national security threats. Since revising the anti-espionage law on July 1, 2023, the Chinese Communist Party has significantly intensified its nationwide anti-espionage campaign, eclipsing even its anti-fraud efforts. The Ministry of State Security published an article on its official Weibo account on August 15, titled "Those Little Gadgets Concealing Intrigues." This article highlighted how ordinary items such as pens with hidden cameras, lighters, tissue boxes with listening devices, and even drones shaped like dragonflies could be exploited for espionage. These gadgets, the article claims, could perform functions like eavesdropping, covert photography, sensing, and data transmission, thus posing potential tools for foreign spies. The Ministry of State Security's campaign has led to widespread publicity of various espionage cases, which have often been met with public ridicule due to the government's apparent paranoia, suggesting that the fear of spies has permeated deeply, leaving everyone on edge. In August of last year, Shang Wanluan, a former Chinese journalist, wrote in Taiwan's Up Media about the CCP's call for a vigorous anti-spy campaign that has been more fervent than previous efforts to combat fraud. This push to root out spies has been in motion for some time, underscored by ordinary citizens participating in spy-catching activities based on peculiar suspicions. One anecdote shared by the author involved a person who reported catching 3 spies while merely applying screen protectors on phones. Another peculiar report involved a netizen who accused her boyfriend of being a spy because he couldn't sing the national anthem, claiming that a lack of shared memories indicated espionage. On August 15, 2023, the Ministry of State Security alleged that a retired cadre named Su from Yunnan, known for making reactionary remarks, was involved in plotting to purchase weapons and recruit a death squad in an attempt to overthrow state power back in 2016. However, these accusations turned out to be unfounded. It was later revealed that Su, whose real name is Zi Su, was a former economics teacher at the Yunnan Provincial Party School. Forced into early retirement in 2014 after criticizing the CCP, Zi Su was eventually imprisoned in April 2019 for inciting subversion of state power following his calls for democratic elections within the CCP. Gao Guangjuan, a former lecturer at the Chinese People's Public Security University and now a practicing lawyer in the U.S., commented on NTD Television's Elite Forum that the CCP's aggressive pursuit of spies stems from a profound insecurity felt by the leadership about their control over the regime. This insecurity has led to heightened measures against espionage, placing state and public security officials in elevated positions of power. Gao anticipates that this climate of fear and suspicion is likely to escalate, making the situation in China increasingly alarming. CCP's Green Cicada network exposed thousands of fake accounts targeting U.S. election. A recent report from cybersecurity firm CyberCX has uncovered a disinformation network, dubbed Green Cicada, comprising 5,000 to 8,000 AI-operated fake accounts. This network is actively spreading CCP-related propaganda on the social platform X, with activities escalating as the U.S. election approaches. Researchers have named this disinformation network Green Cicada. It primarily focuses on divisive political issues in the United States and may interfere in the upcoming U.S. presidential election. The Green Cicada network also targets political hot topics in democratic countries such as Australia, the UK, Western Europe, India, and Japan, exacerbating divisions within these societies. CyberCX's Chief Strategy Officer, Mike Gibbons, stated this could be the largest exposure of fake account operations to date, and the first major CCP-linked information warfare campaign driven by generative AI at its core. CyberCX's spokesperson highlighted that these fake accounts are infiltrating democratic discussions in Western nations, not to endorse any side but to sow discord and intensify polarization. Researchers identified Beijing's Tsinghua University, along with AI company Zhipu AI, as key operators behind this disinformation network. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.